told me that love wasn't real. What kind of a feeling am I starting to feel when I want you so? Why are you so cold? When I'm around you, I want to let go. Lost in your eyes when we're moving too close, and the love we found got me upside down.
Welcome to the SMITE Global Series, and today we're taking a look at Oceania. Finch here. I have Taco with me as well. We're going to be taking a look at Servo going up against Galen Bra.
And again, this is just going to be all new competition right now for Servo, so the important thing is to try and have a repeat of last week.
That's right. Servo were the ones that made it to the finals of the first phase and actually won it in a very close set up against Legacy. Taking a look at the brackets here, it was looks like not too difficult of a task for them. They were able to get through without any losses yet.
But now it seems as though it's the same case story there for Galen Bra.
That's right, yeah.
They might be able to turn things around as well and maybe catch Servo off guard.
That's right. Like we said, it was Legacy that Servo played to end the Phase 1 final, so this Galen Bra roster might be a little bit more unfamiliar with them. I'm sure they've been paying attention to their competition, so I expect them to be somewhat prepared, but it's not like playing the same team you literally just got done playing last week or anything.
That's always one of the advantages that some of these newer teams can always introduce, is that they have a chance to kind of get a little bit more insight against some of these more experienced teams. Servo clearly leading Oceanic at the moment, so for Galen Bra, it's about playing an even game.
That's right, and here we are in Phase 2. It's Week 1, as opposed to Phase 1 where they would play and then they would try and once you won or placed high enough, you would earn your seating in that final week. Here, they're going to be playing for points every week, so likely we'll continue to see Servo, continue to see Galen Bra as well. These top teams going to keep trying to accumulate points to help them out towards the end of the phase.
Speaking of which, a couple of unconventional bans already. ISIS, Kukulkan, and Ares. That's not something you see every day. So, again, it seems as though Servo is really prioritizing this mid-lane pick, or at the very least are trying to prevent Galen Bra's mid laner from picking up any god that they feel specifically comfortable on.
Well, Habwa is going to be prioritized for them, so maybe they were right to be concerned that a big mage would be the problem for them, as that was prioritized here by Galen Bra. Not too much of a surprise, though, I would say, Taco. This Habwa pick is so strong right now.
And again, Daji, I really like the selection for Servo. Kind of accomplishes the same mission that an Ares would really be looking for, and I think that's part of the reason why we see Galen Bra trying to eliminate the Ares, because that double ulting composition between the Daji and Ares is a little bit tough to handle, although Daji and Thoth is pretty much the same sort of problem, considering the burst damage that could be on side of Servo.
Taco, if I told you could first pick Daji Thoth, how would you feel about your chances of winning that game? Like, if that's all I told you.
I'd feel pretty good. There are still some concerns, though, because of the fact that Galen Bra do have this Habwa, although with that Giannis being picked up, we could see maybe some unconventional strategies out of Galen Bra. We have already seen the jungle Giannis, courtesy of Europe, and there are still possibilities that a lot of these international teams tend to try and introduce some of that SPL playstyle to their own drafts.
They did round it out with the Uller. Did Servo, so now they have Daji, Thoth, a lot of picks that are very popular right now in the meta. We'll see how well they're able to utilize these. Likely, Uller will be the hunter for them, and then Thoth in mid lane, Daji coming out of the jungle, and still, Serket's a pretty normal ban, but Neath gonna be the ban for him.
And again, Neath is just one of those gods where I think that Galen Bra probably are a team that tend to play off of each other. It seems as though most of the bans that Servo has made so far against Galen Bra have been centralized around the team utility factor. ISIS, Kukulkan, and Neath all kind of serving that utility purpose. So it's going to be a Loki as the locked-in choice for Galen Bra, and a Vamana just to really round things out there.
Okay, so then we're going to be seeing Hunter Loki maybe here, Hunter Giannis. I'm not quite sure where they want to take all these picks over here, because Vamana might be going to the solo lane. It's a lot up in the air with their draft, as Bakasura is going to be the pick that comes out for Servo. Bakasura actually is a pick we've seen be very strong lately.
And Bakasura is also one of those guys that you can kind of utilize to your advantage, considering that he does have that cripple effect on his ultimate. So that could be a priority to try and handle some of these members from Galen Bra. And with that Loki having locked in the Transcendence, it turns out his name is the same name as the team name.
Yeah, I think Galen Bra is the namesake here for the Galen Bra team, so we'll see how well he's able to pilot the Hunter Loki for them. Or at least that seems to be at least the opening strategy for Galen Bra, how well they'll be able to do that. It is going to be Clout, though, taking the Giannis into the jungle. Device has Vamana, it appears, in their mid lane form. Then Juicy Zeus has the Habwa. So we'll see how well this strat works out from a little bit non-conventional. We'll see where it is they choose to go with it, and I'll try and get it started. Could be trouble already, though, for the namesake for the Galen Bra roster, as he gets spotted out trying to go proxy the wave. Trappish in a rock in a hard place. Reagan able to find first blood, catching out Galen Bra.
Same thing gonna happen though. Cloudy is gonna be able to get that invade off against Envisionize, so just stealing away the speed buff. Unfortunately, his teammate already died across the way, and as a Loki, it's usually not advised to try and approach an Uller so deeply into the lane. I understand the mentality behind proxy farming, maybe just getting that initial decoy off, because otherwise you're not gonna have very solid lane clear, but sacrificing your own life in the same manner that Cloudy just did. This is a great start here for Servo.
Yeah, Servo are up 2-0 now. We're barely a minute into the match, Taco, and Servo already found 2 kills for themselves. And onto the Uller for Reagan as well. That's about as good as you could hope to start off. Maybe you can get an Envisionize a kill in there too. That'd help out. But I mean, getting your Uller up to a hot start is going to help out. Now, some more action coming into the mid lane. This time, Swifty is going to be the focus. Jukes around underneath the tier 1 tower, ends up falling, but Envisionize does find the return kill onto Rana Barana.
Yeah,
make
I'm
it 1 for 1.
Not worth on that one. If it had been the first blood, that would have been go for it. But considering that it wasn't first blood, there is no realistic reason for a Xingtian to dive with T1 that early on. But keeping the theme of early game kills going, Regan striking down kill number 4 against Cloudy yet again.
Yeah, Cloudy is struggling here already on this Giannis pick. Has not really been able to get off the ground. Looks like it is actually going to be, though. I want to talk a little bit about these builds, Taco. Somewhat of a double jungle kind of strat here. Bananarana also has the Assassin's Blessing, as does Clouty. So it looks like they're both trying to get the benefit of hanging out in the jungle, getting some of that extra sustain and damage onto those camps. But here, we are going to take another quick look at the solo lane where KO might be having some trouble against Juicy Zeus. Juicy Zeus is having a good time for himself against this Bakasura. A lot of damage Haba is able to do.
And again, this Vamana mid is pretty crazy to try and handle. If he's able to pull it off, I can see the mindset behind it, but the main part to consider is that he is against a Thoth, and Thoth having so much extended range can be very problematic when trying to pinpoint as far as killing, because sure, Remren in the Xingtian was able to dive that at the start of the match underneath that T1 tower, but how many times are you actually going to have that sort of opportunity as melee-based gods, pretty much? Yeah,
it's going to be harder and harder to try and pin down Swifty on this Thoth pick as the game goes on, so doing anything they can to try and limit how quickly he can farm. And they've kind of left Galenbra over here alone in the dual lane just to try and farm it up as the Loki, and already getting punished by Reagan and Destinate, who are trying to limit some of that farm for him, let as many zone him off the wave as best they can, and then finally let him go to him. But this could be trouble potentially for Cloud T, trying to steal away the red buff. Does have the portal available. Going to be able to escape with that, and has Blink too, so able to get out of dodge is Cloud T.
Not quite yet, though. Destiny doesn't seem quite ready to give this up, and Cloudy engaging his opposition. But Cloudy's still sitting at level 2. He is drastically underfarmed in comparison to the rest of the map.
Yeah, there's just not enough farm for Rana Barana and for Cloud T to both be hanging out in the jungle as much as they are right now. And just they haven't really been finding many kills or leech off the waves correctly. It hasn't worked out for them just yet. Portal does come out, just kind of portal it himself. Is Cloud T as he just hangs out there in the mid lane. Galen Bravo, come back getting these back Harpies. This is what he needs to do. Try and find whatever farm he can safely to try and just keep up with Reagan on this Uller right now.
Considering that his purple buff's getting invaded at the moment, and soon to be red buff invade as well, I believe. Regan and Envisionize already making the rotation over. They're going to be met up with Destinate most likely, but the buff's already going to drop actually before Destinate even has an opportunity to rotate from those left mid Harpies. And again, full map control just heavily in Servo's favor because of that start.
And it's going to hurt Rana Barana and Cloud T especially, because there's just nothing for them to try and farm in the jungle, trying to fight this out his device. He is able to dash through, but now Rana Barana is the one that's getting locked in, and he's tasting that Envisionized damage from the Daji up onto the Palau and lands the first chain, lands the second. Even with the portal, you're getting pulled right back in. That's going to be another kill going the way of Envisionized in the mid lane.
Nor the truth.
Not sure why the Xingtian already decided to go through the portal. Could have maybe saved that and tried for an escape after the fact, but just one of those situations where you're probably dead either way.
That's too bad.
Juicy Zeus gonna land the knockup and have some difficulties finding the crashing wave afterwards, but it's the thought that counts sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unfortunate not being able to find that damage. Could have really helped him out up against KO. And, instead, you know, he is able to reposition there in lane, and he'll have the ultimate available for him a little bit sooner rather than later. Blink once again coming up big though for Cloudy to get him away. Does take way too much poke damage back from Reagan, though. He's level 3. Is this Giannis right now? He cannot stand in this jungle up against Reagan.
Cloudy's incredibly lucky that he didn't end up dying there. He still doesn't have his boots finished off quite yet, so he's fairly slow in comparison to most others, but considering that Reagan elected to go for the Transcendence first and foremost, he didn't have the boots available either. That would have most likely ended up spelling the death for Cloudy.
Looked like KO's trying to come down for the invade. Right here, though, is Rana with the Whirlwind Rage and Steel, throws him right underneath the Tier 2 tower and the lockdown. Still not damage, but coming in on the backside is Device. That is going to be enough damage. Second kill of the game for Galen Bruh now. Device 1-0-1. Looking good here on this Vomit so far.
And Galen Bruh finally having a little bit of opportunity to catch up. Despite losing all of his buffs, he's still maintaining a pretty healthy level since he's just been solo farming this wave the entire time.
Now Envision Eyes is stuck in a 1v3. Already used his dash to engage earlier on top of Cloud T. Does have the Palau available, able to land 1 chain, 2 chains on the Cloud. Remember, he has Blink, not Bead, so he is going to get pulled back in. Looking for the stun. Is Destiny to try and create a little bit of space. Slow comes out to an over the wall. Comes Envision Eyes at Destiny up to find Cloud T. Now a little bit more damage. Envision Eyes able to get another kill. Device ends up falling as well. And they continue the chase on Rana, who actually turns around trying to put out a little bit more damage, but instead ends up throwing his life away. KO takes that one. 3 kills now for Wigarn Servo.
That was a very fortunate kill for KO to pick up, considering that he just died moments ago in that solo lane trying to invade on the blue buff. So a very important kill to help catch him up. And on top of that, also managed to acquire an assist, and that's just going to make sure that he doesn't miss out on too much, since he did leave lane for quite some time and his Archer wave stacked up a decent amount. Still trying to stay on top of this Hobwag and eat a ton of damage out of that crushing wave.
Yeah, this time it is on the mark, and KO going to have to back up after taking all that damage. Actually brought very low, and Juicy Zeus wants to try and see if there's anything more we can find. If he can get that water spout lined up, and not going to be able to. KO going to get right on out of there this time. But a pretty action-heavy game so far, Taco. 10 kills already. Only about 7.5 minutes into this one. Plenty of action. 2,500 gold lead going the way of Servo, though. About the same for experience as well.
Considering that 4 members of Galen Bruh actually have the Blink Relic, you kind of expect that much aggression to occur. Anytime you see multiple members investing, speaking of which, Xingtian Blink ult into the mid lane, gonna connect, but the ultimate will not.
Swifty and just make it out of there. Reagan looked for the axe, couldn't find it in the invis. Now comes the assassinate. Reagan locked down inside the damage. It's actually not as much, but the slow is particularly potent. That's going to force Reagan on the run. But now that his cooldowns back, he turns around. Swifty finds in the mid lane with the final judgment. Able to get that kill. Device is here and Device is low. Envision Eyes right behind him with the speed buff, and now the Terra's blessing to help out. He ends up blinking into Reagan. Loses life for that one. Device falls. Now it's Galen Bruh who's in trouble. Envision Eyes gets that one too. 11 kills now go the way of Servo as they continue to find these kills left and right. It's raining kills, Taco.
Servo can just walk around the map right now, and likelihood is Galen Bruh's going to suicide somewhere. And that seems to be the main thing that keeps happening for Galen Bruh. Their positioning has just been awful this entire match.
Hasn't been the safest, but as you said, you know, they do have those Blink relics, so maybe gotta play a little more aggressive. Cloud T caught out yet again in the mid lane. Dies to Swifty's damage. This time, even underneath this tier 1 tower, he can't feel safe. As we approach 9 minutes in, this tier 1's under siege. Piranha's here, though, as Juicy Juice finds KO over in the solo lane to try and help defend it, but it's not gonna be enough. Tier 1 tower falls. Stun even landed for good measure. As well as the invade and punish. Swifty looking for a little bit of a turnaround, but can't quite find the damage.
Juicy Zeus might be the savior that Galen Bruh needs, so acquiring that solo kill. He's got a 2-level lead over KO now in the solo lane. Speaking of which,
Reagan blows him up there in the mid lane, and Vision Eyes also finds one on a Juicy Zeus, who, as you said, has been sort of the shining light for them so far. Now gets slowed down a little bit by the jungler for Wigarn Servo. Level 10 right now over Rana level 7 on the Xingtian.
And Cloudy, again, just seriously deprived of farm at the moment. I think a large part of it is, as well, just the fact that Cloudy spent so much time during the first 5 minutes trying to invade Servo's jungle as opposed to looking to farm out his own, which opened up the doorway for Servo to just invade his buffs instead.
Yeah, that's really is what's happened here, is that there isn't anything up on the map, at least in the jungle, for Cloudy to try and farm. So he has to kind of come over to the lane, get some farm there. Arena just barely able to make it back underneath his tier 2 tower as he gets caught between Destiny and Vision Eyes and Swifty in the mid lane. They don't find the kill, but now they're going to go for the umpteenth time and invade this red buff. It's not up just yet, so they'll start with purple, but that jungle should be theirs.
I don't think that's a red buff invade any longer. I think that's just Servo's permanent secondary red buff. Speaking of which, Vision Eyes' presence is going to be enough to force the ultimate out of Galenbra.
And Galenbra, the player, not the team. Obviously, the team doesn't have an ultimate. We're talking about the player, Galenbra.
Yeah. And again, though, Rana dropping the Xingtian ultimate is going to get picked up, though, by Vision Eyes. And just like that, kill number 15 at the 10-minute mark for Servo.
You know, I think Destiny could have got that kill, but it's pulled back by Vision Eyes. Feels a little bad there for the Terror. Probably could have finished that one off, but instead Vision Eyes going to get it. Hey, they're going to get this tier 2 tower in mid, or at least they're sieging it. Going in and try and slow them down as Cloud T looking for the unstable vortex damage, but does almost no damage at this point through space and time. It's going to be enough to get him out of there. And is enough to pull them off the tier 2 tower as well. They could not finish that one off. So a good defense so far, but actually looking for more is Swifty. If he can find these shots, he certainly has the damage to finish off Cloud E. Not gonna be enough. Cloudy has the speed buff, is able to escape. Juicy Zeus also finds KO on the top side as Swifty goes too deep looking for the kill and ends up getting killed by Device himself.
It turns out if you try to walk through a T2 tower as Thoth at 11.5 minutes, you're usually not tanky enough to survive it. Juicy Zeus, though, gonna match blink for blink out of Vision Eyes. Juicy Zeus was trying to get to the safety of his team, but the first damage out of Vision Eyes, way too much to handle.
Just couldn't get out of range of that jump there from Vision Eyes, and does eventually fall for it. 21 kills now. Not even 12 minutes into the game, Taco. It has been a brawl so far between these two teams. Pyromancer being considered by Servo, but everyone's here. Assassinate comes out from Galenbra, and Vision Eyes is feeling the damage and brought very low already. Rana gonna be enough to confirm that kill, but now Galenbra's trying to make his own exit. He is able to get away from Destiny. They find a good pick there in the jungle. Slowing down Vision Eyes is gonna help a lot. 7-1-3 now for the jungler.
But unfortunately for the Loki, it was actually the Xingtian that got the kill. KO now just trying to secure his own buff, but getting harassed the entire time by the Xingtian is going to be successful because of that E on the Bakasura, but Xingtian's still dealing a decent amount of damage.
Not going to be able to find Final Judgment from that range, but you're right, Taco. KO's kind of the only one on his team that's not winning his direct matchup right now. Juicy Zeus is 2-2-1, has done a good job trying to punish this Bakasura, which is also, Bakasura's also been rotating a lot, so that could be part of it. As Cloud T just trying to proxy farm a little bit, it looks like, in the duo lane.
Again, though, Regan's here. Regan's going to jump over the wall, able to catch out Cloudy before he can get that blink online. There goes one. Galenbra could very well be the second, as Regan not quite ready to let either of them get away. This level 15 Uller simply too far ahead for even a combination of Galenbra members to handle.
It was 3 overall, too, as Device fell elsewhere around the map. Look at that damage from the ultimate from the hot wall. That's going to force KO back, even with his own ultimate coming out. It just wasn't going to be enough. Barana, though, could potentially be in trouble as Dodgy tries to chase him down. Blink comes out. That's going to be enough to get him out of there, but not be enough to save the rest of their jungle, as Servo is still around. They're still healthy. They're still looking to strip it away. In fact, Gold Fury being under siege by Regan all by himself. He doesn't have lifesteal at this point, so let's see if he has enough to outburst the objective. It's very, very close. He was able to get it with just barely 1 HP remaining, so perfectly calculated, as Swifty falls in mid.
Swifty getting chased down the entire time, but Servo are the ones having the last laugh there. Sure, they lose a life of their mid laner, but they get another Gold Fury. They already have a 6,500 gold lead, and the experience lead is pretty massive as well.
Yeah, the experience lead more like 8,000. Galenbra gonna try and shut this one down, though, even committing the ultimate out of Device just to make sure that that Pyromancer is theirs, Taco, and they do secure it. Now KO could potentially be in trouble on the right-hand side. Looks trying to avoid the unstable vortex damage, uses the jump to try and get away, but don't forget, they've got plenty of movement. Vision Eyes finds Device, and now comes the Whirlwind of Rage and Steel to bring KO back further away from the safety of his own side of the map. Juicy Zeus gonna clean it up with the water hands.
Oof. Yikes. That is some intense damage. Speaking of which, Loki ultimate is not gonna connect.
Yeah, looks like he wasn't able to get the damage, so instead he gets punished there in the mid lane. Vision Eyes uses the chain just to try and peel for himself more than anything, and the beads wasn't enough, though. Juicy Zeus finds his 4th kill of the match so far. And Vision Eyes 9-2-3 going to sit out for another 35 seconds.
And again, Zeus really being the only member of his team keeping up with the rest of Servo. He's going to use the crashing wave, but it just doesn't do the damage that he needs right away. Destiny going to get the credit for the kill onto the Havois, and the one promising factor that Galen Bra did have going for them has just been wiped away.
Yep, it's been taken down. That's going to slow things even further. Talk a little bit about these build paths, though. KO choosing to go with that Atalanta's bow. This is something we see a little bit more of now, Taco, especially with that passive. Can kind of help Bakasura stick to his targets a little bit better.
Again, though, Hasten Katana may be a little bit more worthwhile to pick up early on for Bakasura, since you get that immediate passive that actually lets you stay stuck onto someone.
Haste effect is good.
Haste effect is usually encouraged for Bakasuras, but I can understand he's going for the power factor with the Atalanta's bow, and the movement speed is still promising enough to help deal with this Havois and the slow off of that carpet.
Galen Bra duking it out in the jungle yet again, gets stunned and visionized. That was all the opening he needed to leap on in. Actually gets blown up in return by Cloud T. Reagan did find a kill here too. Device falls as well. 3 members have already fallen to the bloodbath. Cloudy gets stunned before he can even make it through the portal, and visionized gets a double kill off the invade and punish from Swifty as KO tries to take the tier 1 tower, but could very well end up falling here to Juicy Zeus.
All KO has been doing the entire time is split pushing, and Galen Bra are more than happy to entertain him. KO is doing so much for his team, and even though it might not seem like it since he's got 5 deaths, the fact that 2 members are still spending their time chasing around this Bakasura as opposed to trying to help out when they're the only members that have really been able to have some sort of an impact in this match is definitely more beneficial for Servo.
Yeah, I think Servo getting 2 for 1 over there is going to help them out a good bit. Zeus gets the chain on him. Uses the ultimate, though, to avoid actually getting controlled. Actually, as the blink gets countered out by Envision Eyes, who's still safe for now. But Juicy Zeus is going to stay on the chase as Swifty in the mid lane has a lot of pressure coming his way. Invade and punish over the wall is good, but Cloud T is too fast for escape. Blink comes in. Unstable Vortex damage isn't enough, but the in-hand does it. Even letting out a little bit of chuckles there, too, as Cloud T finds his 2nd kill.
Again, though, there's nothing on the map for Galen Bra to farm. Sure, they might be finding picks now, but that's only after Servo has already taken away the Gold Fury, which is the primary objective this early on in the match. Galen Bra were able to respond with the Pyromancer, but the amount of gold and experience received from that simply does not make up for everything they've lost so far.
And they have gotten a few picks, have Galen Bra, but they haven't gotten very many, I'll say, onto Reagan. He's been free farming this game. Level 19 Taco, 8-1 and 5. Has the Magai's cloak finished as well to give him a little extra bit of survivability. And then between the Crusher and the Executioner, tons of attack speed. And then Transcendence to give him a little bit more power as well. He's going to be swinging when these teamfights start happening. As if to say he's not already. It's just going to spell even further problems for this Galen Bra roster.
And again, Servo with a slight grouping in the mid lane, trying to siege this T2 tower. Even if Galen Bra wanted to try and defend it, they're simply just a little bit too late. Giannis' ultimate is going to come flying through the map, but Cloudy's going to be the first member to fall down after coming through that portal. Getting a little bit baited there by his team. Juicy Zeus still trying to help clean up Envision Eyes on the backside, but Regan going to make quick work of that Xing 10. Meanwhile, Juicy Zeus just getting controlled and burned out by Swifty and crew. And one more is going to do it, because why not get a triple while you're at it? Regan, again, had a fantastic start and is only carrying that throughout this match.
Galen Bra, though, did at least get a tier 2 tower in return, but 4 members have fallen so far. It's not going to make it work. Actually going invisible to make it such Envision Eyes can't jump in. Now just needs to find the chains for the stun at the end. It's going to be enough for Envision Eyes to win. The Aegis, or rather the beads and the Aegis being used there to keep him getting pulled in. Galen Bra does live in the 1v1 up against Envision Eyes, but they lose their Phoenix in the mid lane, Taco. That's going to go the way of Servo after getting 4 kills and Envision Eyes surviving the initial attempt on his life in that fight in the mid lane. Pyromancer going to be added to Servo's list of accomplishments here in this game, and why not throw the Fire Giant down on top of that as well? They've got Reagan here with them. He should be all the damage they need. Swifty, oh, not Swifty rather, but Cloud T's nearby if he can tell this is going on, but he can't. Not going to be able to contest it. Fire Giant, Phoenix, 4 kills, all going to go their way as Cloudy falls too. Swifty gets that one.
And again, Galen Bra, they could look for the smart route of just trying to farm up and take their chances on the Phoenixes, but I guess they prefer to continuously die off cooldown to Servo. And Servo, again, really just making full use of their lead. There's really not much response that Galenbra could have, even if they have had a couple of noteworthy moments. I think that Janus through space and time in the mid lane was the right decision, but they were simply too far behind to really make an impact against Servo.
Could be a problem here for Borana as he does take a bunch of damage from Reagan. Assassinates good, but not enough. Reagan turns it right back around, catches him out. Blink, but blinking the wrong direction is Borana. Tried to use the relic there to save his life, but not gonna be enough. Reagan gets the double kill in the 2v1 up against Galenbra, and Borana now. Device gonna try and help take down KO. Juicy Zeus is more than enough. 2 ultimates committed just to take down the level 17 Bakasura, while the rest of the Servo roster take Gold Fury and extend their lead out even further.
Just wish that Galenbra would play around Juicy Zeus a little bit more, and I think the only member of Galenbra who's really made an effort to do so is the Xing 10, as Cloudy gonna ult away to catch the next wave.
Wants to
Getting
make sure
himself
he's
to
getting
safety
that.
as well. He knows he can't really defend that T2 tower. He's just too far behind. Gonna do what he can though and prevent that next wave from coming through. At the very least, it's gonna take Servo a little bit longer to siege this left-hand Phoenix. They do have the Fire Giant, however, so probably not that concerned about being tanky, but Juicy Zeus might be their only method of defense, and he's already been eliminated.
Remember, he didn't have the ultimate available, had to use it in Soul Lane to get that kill, and Vision Eyes trades his life, but Juicy Zeus is really the only person that they have to worry about on the Galenbra roster, so with him out, it actually ends up being in good favor for them. Phoenix on the left-hand side also falls down. 2 Phoenixes now going to be going the way of Servo's. Cloud T finally decides to come join his team, as does Device. They head back to base now, the 3 of them, looking to try and make a defense up against this Servo roster, but not really pushing any further. They've backed up, they got the 2 Phoenixes that they wanted, instead they're going to strip away this jungle.
And again, Servo, they've got that Fire Giant for quite some time. Would not be surprised to see them group up and maybe look to re-siege either the mid-hand Phoenix or even make an attempt for the right-hand Phoenix. Swifty, though, a little bit out of position, just too far ahead. Went for that speed buff invade, and even though it was successful, it cost him his life, and ultimately that's only going to further slow down Servo being able to end the game. But the rest of his team doesn't seem like they've wavered in the slightest. They're still electing to push up the waves and just see what they can accomplish on the map without their mid.
KO getting chased down by Borana. Borana might be going too deep just to try and find KO here. Does turn around, find the Furious Roar. Has the Whirlwind of Rage, and Steel does pick up at least 1 member, but doesn't actually get thrown. KO chases him down. Hasten Katana and Landa's Bow getting it done. Juicy Zeus, though, as he's done all game, takes down KO with his own ultimate, trades his life out in Vision Eyes. Gets that one as Juice ends up falling. 2 for 2 overall. If you count the earlier spill into Swifty. Galenbra does find in Vision Eyes, but their lives end up getting traded out as Cloud T falls. Rather, Galenbra still alive. A double kill for Envision Eyes before he died. The slow comes out into Device, who can't even stand up to the Terra damage at this point. Hits him with the wall. This is all Destiny damage, finally. Forces out the ultimate. He's got Reagan here now, who has more than enough to try and burst this one out. Even inside that big baby ultimate. Bladed Arrow hits. The leap hits. Destiny cleans up the kill that he set up.
Taking a look at Destiny's build, by the way, for anybody wondering where that Terra damage is coming from. Meanwhile, Swifty trying to survive from Galenbra. Galenbra gonna immune.
There's minions in the Titan room, Taco. Look at this.
They should be able to end. That's all that Destiny and Regan are focused on, while Swifty ends up getting solo there on the right-hand side by the Loki. And Regan and Destiny just gonna keep pushing on into this Titan room. They do have 2 waves of minions coming in, but their secondary wave from mid isn't a fire creep wave, since that Phoenix was able to respawn.
Yeah, looks like it just wasn't quite enough. Through space and time has been used. Doesn't hit, but gets the team a little bit closer. For Cloud T, they might be able to catch off Destiny now, force him back, and Zibble Vortex doesn't hit either, but the Juicy Zeus damage is as real as it's ever been. Galenbra brings a little bit of burst to the table of his own. Destiny falls. That'll be another 50 seconds or so. They will not have their support. And now's the first death for Destiny as well, so now a little bit of a push from Galenbra as they move into mid.
Oh, hopefully Servo stop funneling into the playstyle of Galenbra and choose to just group up. Speaking of which, Regan gonna have to use the Aegis, but still not gonna keep him alive. Great ultimate there from Brana. And now it's in Vision Eyes, barely managing to slip away. KO trying to turn the situation. Frenzy is gonna be popped, but Cloud T is not gonna be able to escape that Bakasura ultimate, providing a nice little cripple there. But again, Caster's Curse just has to strike at some time.
That's
and,
right.
And Cloudy does manage to survive with just a sliver of each.
It did look good for him, though. I was right there with you, Taco, as KO has finally got this Bakasura to the point where it is shredding. 61 kills, 25 minutes in right now here, Taco. It's been a bloodbath, to say the least. Servo enjoying themselves a 14,000 gold lead, 17,000 experience difference. So despite all the kills they've been trading out for Galenbra, just has not worked out for them just yet. Pyromancer going to be Servo's as well. At this point, this Pyromancer, not particularly relevant, even farm-wise. They're just kind of taking the objective down while they group up to try and get this Fire Giant. Galenbra is here in the jungle, though, to try and help defend.
Again, though, this is a game that Servo probably could have closed out at least 5 or 6 minutes ago if they had chosen to group. The fact that they've been as spread as they have has actually opened up the doorway for Galenbra to potentially turn this one around. And Destiny right now eating a huge chunk of health out of those Fire Giant boulders. KO going to try and collapse onto Cloud T, while the rest of Servo is really looking to back him up. But this time around, Cloudy's not going to be able to get out. Doesn't have that through space in time, and Random Bananas ultimate isn't going to do the trick either.
Assassinate comes out, not going to have the damage that they wanted. Swifty finds Banana Rana, chains, come down to pull everybody back in, and Vision Eyes gets a kill in this exchange as well. Now they're trying to hunt down the Juicy Zeus, who does turn around and put the hands onto Destinate. Has the water carpet there to help him out a little bit too, but Device could potentially be in trouble himself as he gets hunted down. Destinate actually gets turned around on Juicy Zeus. Finds the kill there in the jungle up against the support as KO pushes with Swifty on the solo side. This is the only Phoenix, I believe, that has not been dropped yet in the base of Galenbra, and they choose to rectify that shortly.
And again, though, Servo has just been so split for so long that Galenbra has actually caught up. All of their members are now sitting mostly at level 20 outside of the support, and they've got their itemization online enough to make their draft actually potent enough to potentially team wipe Servo if Servo isn't careful.
Now the ultimate comes out one more time. Juicy Zeus gets blown right on up. Phoenix on the left-hand side falls to the pressure between KO and Vision Eyes working together. Cloud's here, though, portaling through, trying to catch back up with them, knows they're half health and has a chance to potentially punish. Has Rana Barana here in tow with him as the red buff trying to get stolen away. Using Unstable Vortex does secure his own buff, does Cloud T, and he's ready to go. That was all he needed. Has his own red buff and feeling good about it.
And KO just didn't have enough mana to really stick around. Is going to be able to run away, though, thanks to that boosted Bakasura movement speed as Swifty tries to solo the right-hand Phoenix by himself. Going to force out Device's own ultimate, and KO eating another pretty huge chunk of his health out of that Unstable Vortex. Terra's Blessing is going to give him enough movement speed just in time to get him away from the likes of Cloud T and Rana Barana.
Vision Eyes actually does find Cloud T, who overcommitted trying to find that kill. Rana Barana trying to turn things around. Swifty, though, is able to find Device, and Vision Eyes and Destinate with the leap are more than enough to finish that kill as well onto Barana. He falls, and Vision Eyes takes that one. 48 kills now for Servo, avoiding the ultimate entirely on the right-hand side. Assassinate, though, is too good. Reagan not going to be able to stand tall up against Galenbra, working together with Juicy Zeus. They defend the right side Phoenix.
Servo really don't like grouping. Someone is always trying to do their own thing, and that's the main reason why we see this game approaching the 30-minute mark. If this team were to have just grouped a little bit sooner, they would have been fine, but now they're going to try and push in. It's still a 4v2 situation. They still have a very strong likelihood to end, despite how separated they have been for the past 15 minutes or so. They managed to bring it together at the end, and a quick little ultimate out of Bakasura just to further ensure that no one is left to pretend. Swifty taking out Galenbra as well as the game.
Servo continue their winning ways, or your Phase 1 champs. Move into Phase 2 with a win in Game 1 already. Looking strong here up against Galenbra. A bit of an unconventional strategy draft and play style coming out from Galenbra, but Servo appear unshaken by it, Taco. They still looked as strong as ever.
Unconventional, interesting. There's a few words to be said about that composition out of Galenbra, but you know, a loss is a loss. They can take it on the chin and hopefully bounce back for the next one, as Servo, one more time, going to elect to ban away that ISIS.
That's right. We got picks and bans ready. We're going into Game 2. So Servo have a chance to put this one to bed with a win right here and win this best of 3 set and confirm for themselves 100 points as they move into the rest of the phase. Whereas Galenbra are going to need to do a little bit of work, get 2 wins in a row if they want that first place for themselves. Already, though, a lot of attention being paid towards these mid laners. Though Giannis, Ice is already all off the table.
And I like that Servo actually chose to eliminate the Daji. He opens up the doorway for them to take this Camazotz that was actually banned away in the first match. So pretty curious to see whether that ends up with KO or if it goes the way of Envision Eyes. Either way, having that flexibility for your first pick potential is nice. But I like the response out of Galen Bra. Seems as though they want a more conventional hunter in that duo lane.
I like this. Pull the Uller away from Reagan, who looked great on it, and then give Juicy Zeus the Habwa again. He looked great on the Habwa. Kind of one of the only members of the team that looked good last game, because it was a rough start for him, is how I'll say it. So Juicy Zeus is able to still look good. So I like these first two picks that are coming out for Galen Bruss so far.
And again, the Habwa, I really like the Habwa pick. You have to admit to the fact that Juicy Zeus did seem pretty dominant in his laning phase at least. He seemed to have pretty solid control over KO, just the rest of his team couldn't really seem to catch up in terms of experience until the very end, and by then, just a little bit too late. But hopefully this time around, with a more solid team composition, I like that Galen Bra has a ton of burst, and the Susano should provide a decent amount of control to really help the gods like the Habwa and the Uller connect with their combinations.
I think so. They are prioritizing their carries early here in their draft, so this does provide the opportunity for Servo to do exactly this. Ban away like the Terra. They've got the Fafnir for themselves already. They can turn their eyes a little bit more towards, like the Athenas as well, and ban some of those supports away. Likely, though, Galen Bruss have a pick that they feel confident they'll be able to get, and Kumbhakarna is it. So if they want it locked down, this is how you do it, Taco. Kumbhakarna, Susano, set up for Habwa.
Kumbhakarna Uller dual lane too at level 1 is a pretty strong start. It's always considered one of those kill lanes, I think is a better way to put it, in that if Servo aren't careful about their positioning early on, especially depending on their hunter, and it's going to be that Cupid Fafnir pairing, a lot of focus around the AoE. At least I like the AoE that's being introduced and the crowd control that Servo does have now from that Fafnir and the Cupid. Yeah,
the team fight for Servo is going to be really strong between like the Nuwa soldiers. She's able to get those explosions off. The Fafnir, Cupid's Field of Loves is so strong in the team fight too, depending on who we can end up finding with it. So I like Servo's team fight. Galen Bra, though, going to round things out with the Anubis pick there, Taco.
Again, Galen Bra, since Galen Bra is the hunter, I do believe that this might actually be an ADC Anubis coming through, and Cloudy representing the Kumbhakarna. Although now it's going to be Cloudy on that support lifestyle and the Juicy Zeus instead in the jungle.
Yeah, they've done some switching around here. Device has moved around too, it looks like. Now he's going to be in the solo lane for him, so Galen Bra, after game 1, didn't quite go the way that they were looking for. It looks like they decided to switch things up a little bit, Taco, at least in where their players are going to be lining up on the map. Device going to be going against KO on the Camazotz. We saw how well Juicy Zeus could take Habwa into the solo lane. We'll see how well Device is able to do it. Already, though, the sprint has been forced out from Destiny, caught out in the jungle. That's going to be another 130 seconds before he has that one back.
It was actually his own jungle, in fact. It seems as though Galen Bra wants to do the invade again at level 1, but this time with a little bit of help from Clouty on that Kumbhakarna. Although Regan and Destiny, they're more interested in the Anubis alone, and one more time, Galen Bra just loves losing that first blood.
Ends up getting caught out. Clouty evacuated and said, see you later to Galen Bra. I'm out of here, buddy. Kumbhakarna, full health and chilling back in the lane. Bit of a surrender vote coming out too, so a little frustration there. I think Galen Bra was really looking to try and proxy the way of getting ability off on it, lower it down early, and then rotate back in. Instead, ends up getting punished.
Considering that Regan and Destiny were waiting for Galen Bra at level 1 in the previous match, the fact that he went for a repeat proxy farm is what's strikingly curious to me, because when you see that the enemy duo is there and ready to prevent that from happening, usually you don't try to commit.
Right. Once you recognize that the presence there, you go ahead and back up. I get the idea, but, you know, call an audible there and back out instead. Ends up getting punished. Barana, who's going to be in the mid lane for them this game on the Uller, very low as the invade comes out on the duo side. Destiny and Reagan going to use their early lead. They were essentially gifted off of Galen Bra's failed proxy farm to strip away the purple. They're going to move over to the red buff, and their team has all the pressure in mid, so they only have Clouty to worry about for making this invade happen. Clouty comes in, gets stunned, though, by the heart bomb, and now the chase begins. Destiny doesn't land the jump, but every auto attack has hit here so far from Reagan. The body blocks are good. They only need one more hit. Sleepy Time passive has been procced. A little bit of laugh coming out as Clouty goes back to the base the hard way. Reagan gets his second kill of the game.
And again, Cloudy just getting punished for the decision-making of his Anubis, because after that failed invade and the fact that Servo's duo were able to acquire the first blood yet again, that one more time just meant that Destiny and Regan had plenty of time to invade that red buff, striking level 2 off of it, only spelled the death of Cloudy after the fact.
Yeah, it did seem like they were a bit disconnected on it. Not only did Galen Brawl not come with Clouty to contest the red buff, but, I mean, they didn't kill Clouty immediately. It took a while for them to find that kill as Banana finds it up against Swifty in the mid lane. Barely had any mana left, too, so gets that done just with enough ability still remaining. But Clouty, I mean, he survived for a while. Even the sleeping time passive proc, and Galen Brawl never came over, so I think it was let Clouty invade or try and defend on his own. If he couldn't, okay, and if he could, then good.
Envisionize just going to acquire his own speed buff, and we haven't seen any invades out of Envisionize this time around, so even though Duo is off to a pretty hot start, Envisionize still playing things relatively safe. Juicy Zeus, again, has not really fallen that far behind, and outside of the duo lane, everything else is going pretty accordingly to how you'd expect these drafts to kind of shake up in the early game. Yeah,
Juicy Zeus has been trying to help Device get a bit of a good start over there in the solo lane. Hasn't materialized just yet. Barana, though, did have to use Purification Beads in the mid lane, so those are gone. But Device, Aegis, used to keep him alive just for the moment. They cannot continue to pressure him underneath the tier 1, or at least that's the call. They back off, and Device still stands for now. Has that Warrior's Blessing ticking for him with 11 stacks already.
Unfortunately, Envisionize only being level 4, and the same for KO. They just didn't have enough dive potential just yet to completely lock down Device, but Juicy Zeus gonna get a nice little pull in onto Destiny, but it's the Fafnir. It's a tank. Regan now getting wrapped out away from the Fields of Love. And the stun isn't gonna be there, so Galen Brawl will escape, but at the cost of his Purification Beads.
That's right. He did have to use the bead to get away from the Fields of Love initially, so he was able to make it on out of there as Regan continues to try and outbox this Anubis over here in the duo lane. It does look, though, like Galen Brawl are playing this a little bit tighter than they did in game 1. Only 3 kills so far. Juicy Zeus, though, Mystic Rush over the top. Perfect stun comes out from Miranda, trying to create a little bit of space for his jungler, and it works. Gonna need to send him a thank you email. Regan, though, finds Galen Brawl, the player, not the team, over in the duo lane, and gets that kill. And actually, the 2v1 is Clouty was here as well.
Again, that Fields of Love, pretty difficult for an Anubis to handle. Anubis not being the most mobile god in the world, kind of relying a little bit more on that sustain that can be acquired from his kit. But unfortunately for Galen Brawl, since he ended up being the first casualty of this match, he's just inherently been behind Regan from the start of the match. And now that he's in that recovery phase, it's all up to Regan as to whether or not he wants to allow time for Galen Brawl to catch up, and he's just been consistently applying pressure, which is what you want to see anytime a hunter has this much of a lead. Yeah, they've been doing the right thing. Did you see Destiny's pathing, though? Actually, when it stole those back Harpies Fire Shorts forced out from Swifty, that is enough for him to back up, but the Typhoon's being charged. They actually land right in it. Shining Metal comes through after the stun from Destiny, who gets the last hit inside the Dragonic Corruption. Juicy Zeus falls yet again. Well, actually, the first fall for Juicy Zeus, but yet another kill for Servo. And again, most of this pressure that's being applied in mid lane is just a direct result of what happened in duo kind of spilling over to the rest of the lanes. This is what happened last game as well, where we kind of just saw losses in all of the lanes as Device manages to get soloed by KO underneath his T1 tower. Never really safe for the Camazotz. Yeah, it's just so safe. Is this Camazotz selection able to do that damage while still being up out of combat and can't be damaged? Destiny considering again looking for another buff invade. Can't find over the wall. Just gonna put the back on for the second, but everyone can see him from the rest of Galen Brawl, so he correctly chooses to back on out of there. But this has been, even though the game is not going well for Galen Brawl, this is definitely cleaner play that we're seeing from them than in game 1, Taco. And the draft might be unconventional, and some of the picks might be a little bit of riskier ones, I would say. Galen Brawl giving it feels like a little bit of a better try here in game 2. I don't think the unconventional draft has been the problem, really, for Galen Brawl. Even in game 1, where things were a lot more chaotic, I still don't think that the draft was really as much the issue as it was the overall decision-making of the team. Everybody just kind of seemed to want to have their own goals in mind, and they never really seemed to work as a unit until the very end of it all. But I would have to agree. I think after that game 1, Galen Bra is trying to prove that they're in the finals for a reason against Servo. And so definitely seeing some much better or much more use of common sense this game than anything else.
Restraint. We're seeing some restraint here from Galen Bra. For sure. Destiny hanging out in the mid lane with Swifty. Makes sense. That's where Cloud T is at. Harpy's going to go the way it looks like of Galen Bra. Axe Stun comes out. Barana has been good with those Uller Axe Stuns so far. They bring Destiny down to half health. There's further action on the solo lane, as you saw. Once again, trying to go for the invade is Servo. Blink in, hits him with the hands. Pulls him right back into the Typhoon, though. KO going to respond with a bat out of hell. That's more than enough for him to put some damage. Actually, not going to be quite enough. Swifty is the one that has to finish it off. Jumps over to avoid getting hit by the Crushing Wave. That's going to be enough for them to find the 2v2 kill with a little bit of an assist from Swifty. Servo coming up strong in the solo side.
That's so unfortunate for Device, and it's not over just yet either. Great Mez out of Cloud T. Gonna get the Uller out of a tight spot, but Device, all he needed was just a little bit more mana.
Yeah.
To get that last ability off, that would have secured the kill onto KO, at least had some sort of return kill for that engage, but unfortunately it's just going to end up as an overall net loss across the map for Galen Bra here.
Galen Bra just comes over towards his purple buff to realize there's an entire enemy duo lane hanging out there. Hammer Stun hits, goes into the ultimate, but not going to be enough. Reagan just finds the in-hand to put him down. Galen Bra 0-3-0 on this Anubis. He even had the relic used there. It wasn't enough. He used beads to try and get out of the Fields of Love. So another 140 seconds without that one, even once he comes back, Taco.
All Galen Bra's really looking for here is the 1v1 in duo. And unfortunately for the Anubis, it just hasn't been achievable. And one more time, just kind of being haunted by the start of that match. Galen Bra has been trying to recover best he can, but it's difficult. And with that Fafnir having ganked, speaking of which, could be a promising gank for Juicy Zeus. Juicy Zeus most likely going to keep giving chase to KO as KO managed to get back underneath his T1 tower, but again, Juicy Zeus just a little bit too far behind to make up for the difference in experience.
Just could not finish that one off. So KO going to be able to escape. Does have to use the sprint, had to use his ultimate as well, so they forced a lot out of him, but were not able to claim his life. Reagan continually able to heal up, though, in the dual lane from the poke that's coming out from Galen Bra with those hearts. They will again turn towards the enemy jungle. There's not even anything there. They've stripped it bare. Instead, they're going to come down towards at least near the Gold Fury, but 9 minutes into this one, are they considering starting it? It looks like they are at the very least gonna pull it. They do have Envisionize rotating over. Swifty is here as well. It's been brought down to half health. Reagan has the Fields of Love ultimate is available. They feel like they need that one too, but no one from Galen Bra is gonna come over to contest it. Servo get the Gold Fury for free and move up to a 5,300 gold lead. Now Envisionize is gonna gank Galen Bra over here in the dual lane as well. Already hits him with the Prana Onslaught. It's too much damage. Overhead kick, gonna finish it off. Envisionize finds Galen Bra.
With or without the ult, that Anubis is dead almost every single time. Speaking of which, KO again sitting on Device's T2 tower line. This level 11 Camazot's just not caring whatsoever about any sort of punishment out of Galen Bra.
Might have to care here about Barana, who finds the axe stun, finds a hail of arrows and gets blown up before he can make it up into the air. Device had the damage and the rotation from Barana to get it done. Finally, they put a little bit of a slow on the KO's run, but they're not going to do it for free. Zeus ends up falling as Reagan makes the rotation all the way over here to solo. Device has a Robin pounding him in the back, and there's nothing he can do. Swifty finds the last hit to help finish that one off. Now looking for Cloud T. The Kumbhakarna going to be able to slowly saunter away, and they turn their eyes towards a better target. The Pyromancer's the call from Servo.
Regan, though, sitting a little bit low here as Cloud T's trying to work his way back in. Swifty gonna get wrapped down and stunned by Galen Bra, but that Anubis ultimate doing practically nothing to Swifty. Again, Galen Bra simply too far behind to really be making the impact that you'd want to see out of these Anubis rotations.
Yeah, he's just, as you said, too far behind right now. 5-0-1 for Reagan. The Cupid for Regar and Servo. Level 11 as well. 2 levels up on top of Galen Bra, who has struggled, both gold and experience-wise so far in this game. We'll see if maybe he can find a way to safely farm over there, but whenever Reagan's over there, he cannot seem to find it. Miranda gonna jump in aggressively. He wants his kill into Swifty, who doesn't have any mana here in the mid lane. Sprint coming out so he can juke, but not gonna juke enough to get away from the bladed arrow. He finds the 2v1, even with Destinate there, and runs back to his team, laughing all the way.
And again, Servo just have a lot of presence on this map right now, although KO, one more time, maybe overstepping his boundaries a little bit too much here. Gonna get knocked out by the water spout out of device, and meanwhile in the mid lane, actually Ruler is gonna be able to get the kill onto the Fafnir, and Vision Eyes being the next target, and great burst there out of Ran Banana, but not gonna make a difference just yet.
Is gonna set it up for to find the kill with the leap over the wall, though. They've got Anubis here as well. Galen Bra gonna help Juicy find yet another kill. Things are not looking great for Galen Bra, except in the mid lane where Rana Barana is on fire. 4-0-2 for the Uller players so far. Now they have a chance to siege this tier 1 tower in mid. KO's here to defend, has Swifty here as well. That should be enough clear for them to at least take away these minions, and they do. Galen Bra have to disperse and cannot find anything off a good fight for them in mid.
And again, even after forcing out KO away from the solo lane and getting some promising picks happening in the mid, there's still just not enough pressure being felt out of Galen Bra to really deter Servo from traversing such, honestly, dangerous paths. Their pathing has been so aggressive throughout the jungle. And again, it's purely because of the fact that Servo is just so far ahead of Galen Bra.
Yeah, Galen Bra have cleaned it up a little bit, and this time it's Servo who's playing a little bit not as clean as they could be with the lead that they have. Good Clay Soldiers to block the axe and sets it up for the return stun. Swifty able to make it right back to the tower line of a hot play in mid. Has Cloud T right there in his face, but doesn't seem particularly deterred. Steps forward. Knows and Vision Eyes here with the blink, and the Prana Onslaught forces the jump out, but Mystic Rush follows. Mystic Rush is enough to help finish. Bananarana falls, epic uppercut, gets Vision Eyes out of there and creates some space for Cloud T to start running back, but even with some minions there, and Vision Eyes not ready to give him this tier 1 tower just yet. Between him and Swifty, they have more than enough damage to take it down, and they do. Tier 1 tower crumbles, and we turn our attention again to the dual lane where Reagan continues to have a good time here up against Galen Bra.
Gold Fury will be responding pretty shortly here. I'm curious to see as to whether or not Galen Bra try and make a group up happen to look for a defense here. And Galen Bra, the Anubis, actually going to get a nice ultimate off onto Regan, but just not enough damage quite yet to be able to clean up the Cupid, although it still forced out the Aegis, at least from Regan, so we won't have that available. Hopefully a member of Galen Bra can look to punish him for it.
That member might be Barana, who rotates over. That was even with Reagan taking 2 tower shots, Taco. He was the one that ended up getting hit by it twice on the tail end, and still the Anubis damage with Band Cross Town was not enough to finish that kill off. Wasn't enough to finish off Juicy Zeus either, who was very low. But this is exactly what they need. Juicy Zeus forced to back. Galen Bra sitting on a respawn timer, and Gold Fury coming back up in 3 seconds. Servo have created all of the map control they could possibly need to try and take this objective. The one problem, though, the one wrench in their plans could be Rana Barana, who's here and on the Uller. Already brought down, though, low by the presence from Destiny. Now he jumps in. Servo confirmed the objective, and they blow Barana up. Swifty gets credit for it, and finally, they slow down this Uller player who had to use beads just to set himself up to jump. And now we'll sit out for another 28 seconds.
A smart punish, though, by Servo, just taking advantage of whatever they can find, and that's really just been the story here for Servo in both game 1 and 2. They've just consistently been pressing the advantages wherever they can find them, and now it's even Destinate being left alone here in this solo lane to take on this Havois, and not really seeming too concerned about it.
Taking a good bit of poke, though. A is at least able to clear the minion wave and setting him up to position a little bit aggressively so that Vision Eyes can rotate in. Has the crushing wave available, use it just to get away. Mystic Rush, gonna close the gap, blink back over the wall from Device. Right back to Juicy Zeus, his teammate, to get him away. Even in a tough situation, Device remains calm and is able to make it out, but maybe not. Reagan rotates in on the backside, finds him with the Heart Bomb. Now looking to see if he can control Juicy Zeus as well. Typhoon gonna come out to try and control him through the Fields of Love. That is gonna be enough to create some space for Juicy Zeus, but beads weren't used, it looks like, by Reagan, but they were used by Juicy Zeus just to get away from the Fields of Love. He does escape, but at the price of his beads.
Again, though, Servo, they're finding picks and making sure to do more with it after the fact. Brana gonna get some nice damage off onto Envisionize with the assistance of Galenbra, but again, Envisionize, that overhead kick, gonna be able to get him away for now. Although this could be Cloud-T's moment to shine. He's trying to find the last in-hand onto Envisionize, who's so close to dying. The sprint gonna help him out closing that distance, but Swifty with a return kill onto Brana before dying himself to Galenbra.
Finally, another good fight for Galenbra, where they're able to find Swifty and Envisionize after Envisionize overcommitted, and Swifty gets punished by Brana. But yet again, there's nothing on the map for them to do with their man advantage in this 4v3. KO does get mezzed out in the mid lane, but Gold Fury's down, Pyromancer is down. There aren't even really that many jungle buffs up right now. Instead, the call to the tier 2 tower in duo. Reagan does not have Fields of Love available to him, but doesn't even matter. With Decimate here, they forced them off this objective too. And Galenbra really getting nothing off yet another good team fight.
Galenbra, however, going to be forced to use that Aegis, and Fields of Love haven't
Blown
even
up.
popped as well, but that ultimate is going to do it. Galenbra, nothing to sustain off of.
There's no way for Galenbra to live in that situation. Does get taken down by the dual lane, and we gain Servo. KO was up on the top side trying to find the invade on the red buff, and instead finds Barana with a bladed arrow as a greeting to say hello. That's enough for KO to back up at level 17 right now. I don't think he's too deterred by this Uller. Instead, doesn't want to get collapsed on by the entirety of Galenbra. They back up again here as Servo enjoy for themselves a 10,000 gold lead, Taco. They're very much in control of this one. 10,000 experience as well. And KO wants to keep fighting, even without any assistance nearby.
Again, though, this is just a direct result of Servo finding the pick. Speaking of which, KO looking for another one onto Barana, and he's going to be able to connect. And Device is so low on mana as well. KO is just so incredibly tanky that it doesn't seem as though Device is going to be able to get away. Galenbra going to help out Camazotz just for good measure, but all the while, Servo's on the Fire Giant.
They are going to take the Fire Giant. No bat out of hell available for KO to get away, so Galenbra finds a second kill of the match, but Servo take the Fire Giant. They head right towards the tier 2 tower on the right-hand side, or at least they thought about it, and Envisionize does not want to be a part of that push. Trust the rest of his team to be able to get that without him, and instead goes to push in the mid lane, try and help threaten the tier 2 tower, at least set it up for his team to rotate over to that as well. Tier 1 might be the return from Galenbra, as Galenbra himself is over there with a minion wave, but 2 tier 2 towers would certainly be worth it along with the Fire Giant.
That distraction factor out of Servo, though. KO's life more than worth it to get not only the Fire Giant, but 2 T2 towers now, as Galenbra just has to watch. They don't really have the experience or itemization online available to really try and contest Servo underneath their T2s. If anything, would maybe like to see Galenbra look to group up underneath one of their Phoenixes that Servo will undoubtedly start to try and siege pretty soon here. Maybe after backing and acquiring a little bit more, spending some of that gold they just got.
Yeah, I think so. Servo gonna back here, Taco, and then regroup to try and make this win happen. And we talked about it a little bit at the start of the broadcast here, but we got a bit of a shift in format, Taco, for this phase. It's phase 2, and here in the Global Series, instead of playing to try and qualify into week 4 and you don't play in the next couple of weeks, this time they're going to be playing every week, trying to see who can come out with the highest cumulative points total. So first place, that difference between first and second, it's 100 points for first, 60 for second place. It's a pretty big difference. Those extra 40 points, if you don't always finish in first place, can certainly end up being the difference maker between you and another squad. So Servo are going to do everything they can to try and secure that for themselves. Cloud-T is low and gets caught out by Envisionize, the blink, and then the Fire Shard's help is going to be enough to proc the Sleepy Time. And Reagan is the one that actually ends up killing him outside that passive. Tier 2 tower and left now under siege by Uyghur and Servo as Decimate dukes it out with Device in the solo lane, and Swifty comes over to mid to push up the mini wave there as well. Level 19 to level 15. Look at that lead Swifty's built up for himself in this new Really, the entirety of Servo are so far out in control. 198 each one of those autos is chunking the Phoenix from Raven. That's enough to shut it down. KO gonna jump in onto Barana. Has the bat out of hell. That's going to be enough to chase him down, but Reagan finds the double kill between Fields of Love and the Heart Bomb as well. Typhoon going to come out for 2 C's, but not enough to slow down Reagan, who finds a triple kill for himself. Swifty gets a kill as well. 4 members down. Only Cloud-T is alive to try and defend against the surging presence of Servo. Reagan gets yet another kill. He's unstoppable as they take game 2 over Galenbra.
a lot less hiccups out of Servo this time around as well. Same could be said for Galenbra, but again, that duo punishment just a little bit too much for Galenbra to try and recover from. As soon as Servo managed to
You mean
establish
Galenbra the
lead.
player or Galenbra the squad?
Again, teams that have players with the name and then they make their team name that, I personally hope that you change that.
Not going to be able to get that one out as Galenbra. Weegar and Servo end up looking strong, even up against the curveballs that were being thrown to them by Galenbra, the team. Galenbra, the player, gets punished early on twice and never able to recover both times.
Galenbra, the team, actually seemed like they were okay for the most part. Galenbra, the player, however, has a couple of things they need to work on, most noticeably the positioning that he chose to take up in games 1 and 2. I think they ultimately just led to his team being put so far behind that anytime you're trying to work from the ground up, it just makes things way too difficult. I think most of the time, especially against some of these more experienced teams, like that of Servo, a lot of experienced players on this team, just really difficult to try and recover from.
Well, we saw it here, though. Galenbra were willing to try some different things when they ran up against the wall of Servo in that first round, so that is at least one bright spot for them. You know, be willing to experiment, try different things, see what it is that works, especially when, like you said, you're up against an experienced roster. That is how you end up getting better, but that is going to do us here for the SMITE Global Series. We are still going to be doing the SPL later today. I believe that broadcast starts at 5 today, Taco, if I'm correct. It's going to be North America, so check right back, mixer.com/SMITE-game. And then the patch notes are going to be at 4 as well. Make sure you check those out as well. But that is going to do it here for us at the SMITE Global Series. Thank you so much for watching.